Are there any drummers in the house?
I play percussion. Because you couldn't play anything else.
Shut up. Come here, dude.
Hey, man. Did you touch my drum set? Nope. I am warning you right now. If you touch my drum, I will stab you in the neck with a knife. Not quite my tempo. It's all good. No worries. Here we go.
Welcome back to the Drumheads Podcast. My name is Daniel. I'm your host, and we're kicking off 2018 with a brand new episode with Sterling and Braden of Drum Kubes. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Drum Kubes, they're these little quaint little cubes that you can put in your bass drum to control the sound, you know, the resonance and all that fun stuff. And what I like is when you find things that solve a problem you didn't know you had till it was obviously too late. We've gone too long with the old-fashioned blanket or pillow in the bass drum. Now you can put these little cubes through the porthole and do sound control and all that way. Awesome. I love it. So no more taking off that front bass drum head just to get some type of dampening. So now you can just pop those cubes through the hole. Like, that's too much. That's too little. Bam, bam. You can do it real quick on the fly, and you can, get multiple sounds out of your bass drum doing it that way. And this is what I love doing about the podcast is you learn these stories behind like this product, and Sterling was working with foam, and it was like, hey, let's try this in the bass drum, and it worked, and now he's got a business, so I love it. So to my audience, podcast and all the social medias, you can go to their website www.drumcubes.com, and you could save 10% off your order using the promo code, wait for it, DrumheadsPod. So easy. Love it. So I just want to thank them for doing that for my audience. And so here it is, episode 104. Getting up there, guys, with Braden and Sterling of drumcubes.com. Check it out. Symbol Crash! Hey guys, welcome back to the Drumheads Podcast. My name is Daniel, and I am joined by Sterling and Braden of Drum Kubes. What is happening?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having us on. Good to be here.
No problem. Are you guys loving this cold weather that's hit the whole U.S.?
Well, we hate the cold weather for the whole U.S., but definitely hate the weather down here in Texas.
Yeah.
Freezing and more freezing. So, yeah, terrible.
Is it turned into like a post-apocalyptic kind of scene where everybody's just losing their minds?
Yeah, so about 3 years ago we had, they called the Ice-Mageddon. The roads were shut down, everybody quit going to school, people just stopped working. And now I believe they're calling this one the Ice-Mageddon.
I remember there was probably about, was it 4 years ago? They had that like polar vortex, and it made Atlanta just like everything, pretty much like The Walking Dead. Like everything just went.
Yeah.
Where in Texas are you guys located?
So the company got started here in Fort Worth, so we're downtown, and big Chip and Joanna Gaines fans. My wife and I, we've driven through Waco before, and passed by the Magnolia shop that they got up there. It's all hip and fancy,
Nice.
She's like such an amazing decorator, whatever. My whole family watches the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely right about putting Fort Worth on the map with that for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And
or just Texas in general, really.
Yeah.
Texas,
Well, it showed a different side of Texas, I think, too. That a lot of people hadn't seen. Because when people think Waco, they think of Waco back in the 90s, and now it's like, oh, Waco, we think of Chip and Joanna, so it's
not the crazy
not the crazy people
that used to live in Waco.
Yeah, totally. Well, cool. Well, I guess we'll kind of just start out. So we'll start with you, Sterling. So how long have you been playing drums?
So I playing drum set maybe 6 years.
Okay.
I would think. I had a drum set when I was a kid. Never really messed with it. In fact, I even sold it to a friend. Didn't really get into it. but I probably, for the last 6 years, have really been playing it. I actually restored I think it's a 1970s Rogers kit that had been gifted to me, and we took off, the wrap and sanded it down real nice, and kind of did like a lacquer on it. It was really cool.
Nice.
And so I played that and got some good, nice skins on. I played the hydraulics.
Good
on
choice.
those.
Good choice.
Yeah, I love it. It really works well for me because they're older drums. They need a little give. And the hydraulics, that Evans have are pretty solid. So.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I've been playing maybe 6 or 7 years.
Nice. So, and what about you? What about you been playing?
Well, I dabbled on drums a lot of my life. My dad grew up playing the drums. About 5 years ago, I started taking lessons on the drums, and so for about 5 years now, I've been playing the drums. I played for a couple different bands and churches. So.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So who was your first drummer you were into, Braden?
First drummer? Well, for me, I grew up in the church, so mine is a church drummer. I've been a fan of Bethel's drummer for the longest time. I grew up listening to them.
Oh, okay.
So I would say him.
Okay. What about you, Sterling? Who was that first drummer that stood out to you?
The very first drummer that I've ever heard of, some guy gave me a pair of sticks and said, "Hey, I need you to be in this team, and I want you to just play a tom drum." Never played a drum in my life. He gave me a pair of sticks, and I stole them, or maybe he gifted them to me. I don't know. We won't hash that out right now. But they were actually a pair of Steve Gadd sticks.
Oh, nice.
And so I, started looking at Steve, and then the big one for me was definitely Carter with Dave Matthews. So
good answer, correct answer. That's the correct answer.
It is the legend,
Yeah.
Mr. Carter. So
Yeah.
I spent hours and hours just listening and playing over stuff, and just got me into drum set really.
Yeah, he's the one that really kind of catapulted me into really wanting to explore drum set. I grew up with the Eagles and all that, and
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Trey Cool from the Green Day, but it was Carter. It's there's more of the drums than just being just bashing. You can be more nuanced with your playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So So no school band for you guys or anything like that. Just kind of a hobby.
No school band. My parents, when I was a teenager, probably maybe 14. They were like, "Well, you could be in band, but you're going to have to give up your whole summer." And me being a very prominent unsponsored skateboarder at the time, decided, probably not giving up the summer would be not a great idea to bang on the drum or something. So
yeah,
I opted out of that. But when I was 14, actually, I think it might have been 13 or whatever, I actually started playing African percussion.
Nice.
Just started with the djembe, moved on, got all kind of the hand drumming stuff. I currently play in a shiku, which is kind of a different version of the djembe. It's more straight, and played that, all over DFW here in Texas. I spent years playing that, even before I even, picked up a drum set and all that kind of stuff. So
what made you want to go back to, that made you started playing 6 years ago? Just kind of I just want to do it?
Well, yeah, funny story. So, best friend in the world calls me up and he says, "Hey, so I got this church I'm playing at, and my whole band just quit, everybody." And he said, "I need you to come and beat on something to make noise because I will look stupid by myself." And, I was like, "Okay, great." So I brought my, little djembe or whatever I had with me, and I was like, "Hey, well, there's a drum set. Why don't I just put the djembe there, and I'll get some brushes, and we'll make this happen." And I was like, "Man, I really like the kit," and it just expanded from there, and got 3 or 4 kits after that, and yeah.
So Braden, are you doing more church drumming right now, kind of, or is that?
Yeah, I tend to do more of that setting of drumming. I switch back and forth between the cajon and the typical set. It just depends on the style, whether it's an acoustic set, if we're playing up on a stage in the crowd that we're performing in front of. I've only played in one other event outside of church so far. So it's typically inside the church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's my main gig right now. Is
Absolutely.
I'll play 2 or 3 times a month for the church I'm going to right now, and the whole time during Christmas we've been playing on a stripped down kind of acoustic set. So it's just like the cajon for a bass drum, and then a ride and a hi hat and a tambourine. Keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Solid.
It's solid.
Keeping it real.
But I'm looking forward to the drum set. Hey guys, there are multiple ways you can help out the podcast. One, go to iTunes and leave a positive review, 5 stars. I would expect nothing less. I'm just kidding, rate it whatever you want, but please rate it nicely. Subscribing to the podcast helps with all the computer algorithms and all that fun stuff. Also, liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, following us on Instagram, subscribing to us on YouTube, and also if you want to be a Patreon member, that would be helpful as well. So $5 a month or $1, whatever you want. All of it comes back to help the show, so I would appreciate any and all of those. And thanks.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Totally. So getting in the drum cubes, I'm actually holding some in my hand right now. Where did the idea come from?
Because we both look at each other, we're like, okay, what do we do? What is this product? Go. So what it is I work for a company that makes upholstery.
Okay. Yeah.
And they, we do the football locker rooms for some sports teams and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we always have this upholstery foam. And I was like, man, I need to put some on my walls because I mean, you have a baby. Well, he's pointing at me. Okay, so basically how this all started, super exciting.
Yeah.
I have 2 of my own. I have a 3-year-old and 1-year-old and all that stuff. And so when I want to play at 9:00 at night, I don't get to.
Yeah, totally.
So I took my drums apart and actually took some mesh and built my own kind of mesh drum heads.
Oh, nice.
And as a practice thing, but I didn't have anything for the kick drum.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, I'll just shove some foam in there and just really kill it or whatever, or maybe make a foam beater or something. And so I'm, doing this, and then it's not really working. I'm getting frustrated. And so I actually cut it up into cubes, and my 3-year-old daughter and I were kind of like playing with them and like snowball fight kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They were white or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I just ran into my room with a bunch of these, like 10 or 12. I was like, I'm going to throw these in the porthole because they fit. I was like, this is going to work great. So then, I unhappily destroyed my wife. Well, I happily, but she very unhappily allowed me to destroy all of our kitchen knives as I began to cut hundreds and hundreds of these cubes, with all our kitchen knives, probably ruining them forever. But, just started cutting them up. I tossed them in the kick drum, and it was great for me. So I was, excited about it. And I was like, well, being in sales and that being my background, I was thinking, how can I market this to everybody else? And, Braden jumped on board and helped with some of the marketing pieces and social media and stuff like that. And so from there, it kind of launched. And it literally launched, it's been 4 months now?
4 months now.
About 4 months.
Nice. Well,
which is crazy. So, yeah, we're just a brand new company, super, super new to the whole game. But, that's how it started, man. Very humble beginnings.
Nice. Well, it was funny because I remember Mason, shout out to Mason for setting all this up. I remember him calling me at the beach. I was on vacation with my family, and he was telling me about you guys. He's like, yeah, it's these things you put in your bass drum. And like the first thought I had was like, oh, cool, it's like a sound effect. Like they kind of bounce around. He's like, no, dude, they don't bounce around. I'm like, are you serious? And he sent me a video. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty rad. So, there's so many. That's what I love about doing this podcast. There's so many little fixes to problems you didn't realize you had.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Because, when it comes to, muffling a bass drum or, adding a dampener to it, it's either a pillow or it's a whatever. It's not an easy thing to get in and out of your bass drum.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And-
And most of the time you're tearing up your porthole to get it in there, or
Totally.
you're undoing your whole drum, which is a hassle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you got
No
that
fun.
nasty blanket that you're like, where did that come from? You know, did this come from a dumpster? I'm not sure. But throwing throwing a couple of cubes in there and having different sizes, you can really make the sound different.
Absolutely.
Depending on how many cubes you throw in and how if you want a lot, you don't want a lot. You're like, oh, that's too much. Just pull one out.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Yeah, seconds, simple, easy, and effective. We love it, and we're just glad to have all the manufacturers and everything on board
Nice.
to make it. So we actually make them, cut to order pretty much.
Yeah.
We carry very little stock, so they maintain kind of their quality. We're really trying to push better quality foam. To nerd out on you a little bit,
No, go
it's
ahead.
actually, it's actually air infused polyurethane.
Oh, okay.
So it's an oil,
Uh-huh.
and then it's pumped up into this foam cubes,
Mm.
and so they feel good, they look cool, they got a sparkle to them a little bit,
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
and they're pretty. And we carry them, like you said, in different sizes and stuff, and densities, which most people don't know.
Oh, okay, cool. I can't remember. Did you kickstart to try to get the the financial in? I can't remember.
Yeah, so we started out, we were like, we'll do a Kickstarter to help try to raise some of the money for patents and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
We started out and didn't quite hit our goal that we were intending to hit on the Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to scratch that and kind of just like, work from the ground up and just let it go where God led it. We ended up having some doors opened up to get the financial money that we needed to get going, and so we received some of our patenting and that kind of stuff. And one door led to another, where we found a manufacturer, and then we just kind of got to where we were today, where we're growing on all social media platforms, and
Mm-hmm.
the website's doing great, and so it's been going great.
Nice. So, Braden, was it kind of like your goal to kind of do like a social media blitz to kind of get the name out there?
Yeah. I've been working on social media for a while with a couple of different companies that I run with and am owners in. And so Sterling came to me with his idea, and so I was like, man, it's a great idea. Me being a drummer as well, and so we decided to collab on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took on the role of a lot of the social media marketing and that kind of stuff. And so together we put up social media platforms one at a time, started to grow them, worked on the website, logo design, all that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
to where we got every social media platform, major one, up and running. The website's up and running,
Yeah.
and it's really been going great.
Yeah,
Nice.
real good. Yeah, in such a short time, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy how with social media, you can it just pops. All of a sudden, just things start happening, and you're like, whoa, this is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to keep up most days.
Yeah, I hear you. It's a battle because you get bombarded with messages. You're like, oh, I'm only one person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we do it together. We both run the Instagram, so when most people text us or hit us up,
Uh-huh.
it'll they'll either be getting Braden or I, and so it's kind of two people. So
Yeah,
And that's-
yeah.
we get lucky there.
Yeah, that's something that we love, and we always try to communicate to people is don't be shy to reach out to us on any social media platform. We love to hear the feedback,
For sure.
comments,
Mhm.
questions, and interests on anyone's behalf, because we want this product to benefit the drummers, and so if there's
sure.
any questions or concerns, or if you just wanted to know a little bit more about it, we want to make sure everyone knows to feel free to reach out to us, and we'll definitely get back with them.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, I think, and that's a good strategy because you've got so many companies out there, but I think right now it's like a renaissance of drums where people are looking for something different and they're looking for something personal. It's not just a name and like a big corporation, and it's you'll just get lost in the shuffle. It's like as much as I love Zildjian cymbals, I can't just
Sure.
call them up and like, hey, what can you offer me? What can you do? What can we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I need a custom cymbal and I need it like tomorrow. They're not.
Yeah.
They're like, who are you again? You're not Eric Moore, so go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But but with
absolutely.
today, I can your customers can reach out to you and like, hey, I'm looking for this. Do you have this color?
Yep.
How does this work? And all that. So it's great.
Yeah. Love it. So quick.
Yeah. So I always ask this question. It's always a fun question because I get so many different fun answers. What is your worst drumming story? And we'll start with you, Braden.
Oh dear. Let me think. What's my
Yeah.
worst drum story?
How can I embarrass myself?
Real quick.
Yeah.
No. I guess one of my worst stories is going to take place this year. Actually, I also play for my school. We have a chapel service, and so I play in the area we play is it's kind of like the youth auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
So like every church, the youth doesn't really get all the high tech equipment
Yeah.
that's put into it, and every week you come in, if there's something missing out of the drum kit, I'm sure you as a drummer understand this.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
So I come in for the practice that we do before the service, about 30 minutes, and of course the toms are missing, the cymbals aren't there, so you have to run around the place looking for them. So I get all set up. We go through rehearsals, comes time for service, and they're clicking it off, and then like almost every church has, the in-ear system goes down. And in the drum cage, it doesn't work out too well when you start clashing on the cymbals, and slowly the singer's voice is no longer heard.
Yeah.
So that's just the beginning. So I lose sound in my in-ear, so I diet down a little bit and just take off the headphones, and I'm playing. And then half the cymbals in the chaotic running to get all the parts, I forget to tighten the tops, the pins to like hold the cymbals down.
Yeah.
So I begin to play over on the crash cymbals a little bit, and the crash cymbal, I hit it just perfectly to where it shot up off the stand,
no.
and then you hear the all the way down while it hits the spot. It kind of took it kind of just went downhill from there on, with cymbals falling off and trying to put them back on. So it definitely wasn't one of my best services. I think it turned into a little bit of a comedy show. Everyone was just watching me back there. What happened next?
Was it during one of the upbeat songs, or was it kind of one of the slower songs?
Well, the in-ears went out during the upbeat songs. That's why it was hard to hear them. But then when you get into the slow songs, when it just keep it nice and then try to build it up to get that good beat, and then all of a sudden you hear
Yeah, it's like that's the worst. Because then your worship leader's like, you know what? Someone didn't get saved because of that cymbal.
I resorted to just playing like I was playing the djembe on the snare. I put everything aside, and I was just beating on the snare with my hands to get through it. It wasn't the best, but
it worked.
It worked.
Well, my hat is off to you, because I've had those services where something just horribly went wrong, and you're like, oh no, I'm done. They're just be like, all right, forget it, just leave, just go.
Yeah.
Sterling, any? Can you top
Sterling,
that one?
Top that one, buddy.
Yeah, top that one. How do you top beating something with your hands?
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of how I'm going to embarrass myself on the podcast. I'm going to try to embarrass someone else, maybe.
There you go. See. I like that approach.
So
clever.
So I get called in for probably one of the biggest opportunities. It's going to be live streamed. It's an international thing, and excited to play for it. And I get there, and the day before, and we're rehearsing or whatever, and he says, okay, well, here's the click, here's that. I'm like, okay, where's the click? And he's like, well, it's this iPad. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Do you have your splitter, so you can fade the click to the band and the track out? And he's like, what's a splitter? I'm like, oh my gosh, this is supposed to be some high-end professional. I'm like, okay, great. Well, that's not going to work. And then, it went bad from there, of course. And then I fixed everything for him. I'm a little bit of an audio tech guy, so I did all that, and I got it all ran right. And then he was like, "Oh, by the way, we're gonna do this version of that song, and it's a completely different time signature."
Oh no.
So I was like, "Okay, well, what time signature is it?" He's like, "I don't know. Listen to it." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, "When are we playing this?" And he's like, "It's gonna be tomorrow." And so he gives me 5 minutes. I run through the song. I get it kind of good or whatever. And so we go through it, and the day comes, and I'm like, okay, here it is, and completely nailed it. Nailed everything. Everything went great, and it all went great. But while I was on the live stream, oh man, I am gonna embarrass myself. So they zoom into my face, and there I am picking my nose.
Nice.
I was so embarrassed. I was like, no. It was kind of like a scratch, so I can say maybe like their mosquito came by, since we got a lot of Texas mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Other than that, I was playing a camp one time, and really, camp is all so fun. Kids are jumping around, having a blast, and I hit my hand on the tom without knowing it, and then I feel some water. And I'm like, well, what's this water? And I look down, and my entire leg is just red. I had cut both of my index finger and my middle finger. My knuckle. I was bleeding all over the drums. There was a pool of blood on my tom, and I was like, I had to leave because I didn't want to scare the kids.
Yeah, totally.
So I crawled out behind the stage and went and cleaned myself off. But yeah. Other than that,
I have a funny story. It's not totally drum related, but it's tech related, I guess you could say.
Okay.
It was in high school. I was playing we played for the VBS at the church I was going to. We get off stage, we go to the tech booth, but it was one of those enclosed tech booths where you could talk and they wouldn't hear you. Well, I get on the computer and I start playing solitaire. And
oh no!
It's on the main screens, but they're saying the microphones get off solitaire, and we weren't hearing them because we were goofing around, and then all of a sudden they bust the door open. It's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, my bad. What are we doing? I'm playing solitaire. They're like, oh my bad. No. Yeah. So,
terrible.
Yeah.
Did you win your solitaire?
No, I think they were mad at me because I was just doing horrible at it. So maybe that was why they're mad. But
that was the problem. Yeah, you got to put the right colors, man.
Yeah, they're like, no, that's red and red. You got to do black. Yeah. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Oh man, that's a bummer.
Yeah, but it's those stories you look back, you're like, well, that's a fun story I could tell on a podcast. 20 years later. Oh God, I'm old.
Yeah.
But I came across, you had mentioned Steve Gadd, so this is kind of a fun, it's a quote that he did on Twitter, and this was this past year, it was in June, and the quote is, "I love drummers, but it disappoints me because they've not elevated the art of drumming, they've set it back." Now, I have problems with that statement.
Yeah.
But I also agree at the same time. I'm conflicted.
Sure.
How do you feel, Sterling?
Well, being a hand drummer at first, and really practicing every night, how do you do triplets with your hands, and how do you do all this, and really just kind of trying to emulate some of the greats, and then moving the drum set, I've had a lot of experience, watching YouTube videos and rhythm and getting my metronome out and sleeping to it, really trying to make myself a lot better than I am, because sometimes I think I'm kind of just fumbling my way through it, but really, there's a lot of dedication. You see guys like Steve or the other Steve, Jordan, and some of these amazing drummers, one of our good friends, Rich Redman, he's going around everywhere, talking, motivating people and talking to people, and he's so solid, trying to do better. I think drumming's really taken kind of a curve into not where everybody just gets on and does chops anymore. I think that I'm not gonna say it killed the industry. I'm a big gospel chops fan. Obviously, playing in
Mhm.
churches, Braden.
Yeah.
We love the chops that gets the crowd pumped and
Mhm.
hyped and everything. But um, seeing guys like one of my big favorites right now is Luke Holland.
Mhm.
He's really taken it to the next level, and just some of the stuff he does. I rewind it. I'm like, what is that guy doing?
Mhm.
And so I see it, but I think maybe drums has lost a little flair, maybe a little pizzazz. I don't know. I don't know what the word would be, but
Yeah, yeah.
you
Showman,
know,
not the showmanship, but it's there's
well, even the showmanship. You have one of the best videos saved on my phone right now. I can, on YouTube as one of my favorites is Neil Peart and his, spinning drum solo with
Yeah.
all those drums and the videos in the background, or even Tony Royster with his when he was a little kid and he grew up, that GoPro video they did with him.
Oh, I love that one. It's so
Oh
good.
man, so solid. That's the drum industry I grew up looking at.
Yeah, yeah,
Being 30 now, I say grow up, but only
yeah.
been playing for like 6-7 years. So,
Mhm.
um, that's the kind of drumming that that I look for, and technique
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's a pretty big comment from Steve. It's
Yeah.
pretty deep.
Well, what do you think, Braden? You being younger, how would you look at that comment?
Yeah, when I saw that, I thought of it more kind of as relating it to kind of agreeing with it but disagreeing. I feel like from his perspective, it's kind of like being an athlete on a basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
You work hard and you dedicate yourself to the sport to achieve high goals, and then you look at your team who might not always put in the effort
Yeah.
that you wish they would, so
Mm-hmm.
that your whole team could look good.
Yeah.
I feel like he might be kind of going at that. Not all drummers really take it serious.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That they kind of just they use the word very loosely.
Yeah.
As I'm a drummer,
Yeah.
I might have sat down on a pair of drums, and I like watching drums, so I'm a drummer. But drumming it takes dedication, and it's not something that most people can pick up right away.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sport. I mean, you gotta love it,
Yeah.
and want to put time into learning different grooves and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And so while I think his point could be valid, I kind of believe that there are many drummers who do really enjoy it and love it,
Mm-hmm.
and try their hard. And it's you're never gonna find something that everyone who does it really cares for it.
Mm-hmm.
There's always gonna be those few people that take advantage of it. And so I just try to push through that, and try to be the light despite the darkness around.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something that I thought of for a little bit. And everyone has their advantage. Him being a great drummer, probably being the top athlete, looking at some of the lower people.
Yeah.
But all we can do is really reflect off that and say, I'm going to elevate myself and try
Yeah, for
harder
sure.
to become a drummer like him,
Mhm.
and use it to inspire. So
Yeah.
I kind of used it more towards, it's going to help me push myself to be better.
Yeah. And going back to the gospel chops, I think that might be what he's implying, that there's been so much emphasis, in the past, I don't know, 6-7 years maybe, of everything's about how fast you can do it, how
Yeah.
flashy you can do it. But I think a part of it was the drum off that Guitar Center did.
Oh yeah.
It was all about theatrics, and sometimes I think groove was pushed to the side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but without that Guitar Center drum off, we would never have Eric Brada.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. Well, there's a
That
ton
guy
of
is
drummers.
crazy.
Yeah, and there's a ton of drummers that came out of that. But I think now I think people are starting to appreciate groove again. I think people are, trying to. The simplicity sometimes is always something. It's actually hard to play simple sometimes. You know,
Yeah,
my
you're
natural thing when I get behind a drum kit is I want to play like a funk beat, and I'm like,
Sure.
you know, I got to get that out of my head. Sometimes just playing it straight
Yeah.
Sure.
is just as good. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I love the quote. It's music can take you where words cannot. And you know, so many times we kind of seems like the instruments compete for who's going to have the lead role. And sometimes I love to sit back and you know keep the beat so that it flows together. And you know, every time I listen to a song, I'm not waiting for one instrument to have its big spotlight. I just love to you know hear the song, and if every person does their exact role, the music will sound amazing despite if one person does a big part in it. So, you know, I guess that might be me growing up doing gospel, more laid back. But, you know, I kind of enjoy it when every drummer and every instrument, in fact, plays just their role in music.
Yeah. Well, and it's good to hear somebody, you know, your age saying that, because me at your age was all about, you know, I'm the best. I'm the next Carter Beauford. You know, you know, and now when I'm, you know, almost 34, it's all about, you know, now I'm all about groove and, you know, the band working together instead of the drummer working against it.
Well, you definitely have to be mindful about that. And for me, especially in today's society, when a lot of time arrogance is a huge thing that young people suffer with. So when one person says they're the best, you know that could push other people down. And so you know my goal as a drummer isn't to be the best and everyone look up to me. You know, I do it to make other people be inspired by it and want to become a drummer.
For sure.
And so that's what I try to look at it as. You know, not every drummer does that, but you know,
If
I like to be one of those people.
For sure.
If I could go back to my 17-year-old self and, you know, I'd be like, what are you thinking? Yeah, because I was sometimes not friendly to, you know, my fellow drummers because, you know, it was a competition. And but this was pre-social media, so you couldn't be you know, a jerk about it. You had to. There was, you know, now you get called out real easily. So
you don't always have to say it to their face. You can just say it on a post and something. And
and then they jump right back.
So you know, we learn from our mistakes, and that's one that I wish I hadn't done. But you know, we grow each day, and you know, I think this podcast morphed into me trying to grow as a drummer, and accept things, and learn about new things because it definitely breaks you out of your comfort zone for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And it's about, you know, like you said, Daniel, you know, it's having that maturity, and I think all of us have to go through the young stages of playing, and with our, you know, like with a gear, like with drum cubes, like you're looking for the right sound and try things. What are we going to do? We're just going to grab a pillow we found on the couch, you know, steal our dad's pillow out of his bedroom or something like that, and hope he didn't notice or something. But it's about, you know, really getting the right sound and everything like that, and just kind of, like you said, inspiring people. And so that's kind of our goal. You know, we one of our big sayings we say to each other all the time in the Drum Cubes team, because there's not just us, you know, we have drummers and people, and you know, even I think you had Camellia on the show.
Oh yes, she's wonderful.
Such a cool person. Yeah, she came all the way from Corpus just to talk to us. And,
nice.
We just hanging out with her, and her big thing was, you know, the drum community. And she was talking about how everyone's so nice and helped her with the drum off and stuff. And we got the sponsor as well, which was fun. And so we just kind of morphed into this saying, you know, we're all in this together, looking for better music.
Absolutely.
And that's the goal, you know, that's the dream, that's the focus. And we just happen to be two guys that randomly started a business, and you know, we love the people we help and love meeting new people, and that's just kind of what we're focused on, man.
Nice.
Everything else will come later, we think.
So what, you know, that's a nice segue into what do you think is later? What are the dreams and the aspirations?
Sure. Yeah. So with so many dreams, we write them all down, then we forget them, and then
Yeah, I hear you.
we throw that paper away, and then we say we'll never do that again, or we'll do this. And I think the biggest thing is giving the people what they want. We've got a lot of feedback. Our first feedback was actually from Juan Carlito Mendoza.
Oh, nice.
Dude, he's such a I love that guy. He's so great. Inspiring. And he said, "Well, what do you carry the cubes in?" And we're like, "Oh crap! What do we carry the cubes in?" And so we were able to get the mesh bag, just stuff like that.
Yeah.
The big thing we want to do is we have the patent on our patents and stuff on what we're doing, but what we want to do is launch some other products that we with only money we can make it happen. But we have some neat ideas. Obviously, color is the biggest thing. People have a custom color drum set. They worked really hard to spend, save up or spend $1,000 on a drum set, or maybe $2,000 or whatever. And then, they got to throw a pillow in it. That's no fun. So
yeah, totally.
We're coming up, Low Boy is one of our, he's such a cool guy.
Oh, those guys are awesome.
Jeremy,
I love them.
He's such a good guy. And really kind of some of the inspiration behind this, just changing the color up, mixing and matching, doing things like that. So that's definitely in the future, the immediate future. And then just kind of, I think the biggest thing is one of our friends, Rich over at TNR Products.
Those are great guys as well.
Cool guy. He was just talking about, he's got the booty shakers out and stuff. Talking about how hard it is to just educate people.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
People, they don't even know what these cubes are for. They don't know what they do. They think they bounce around and stuff like that. But I think the real big thing will be doing like trade shows for us.
Yeah.
We're really excited. We did just get accepted to NAMM.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we're gonna walk it this year, so we'll see you guys in Anaheim for sure.
Cool.
I think you might not make it this year, but
yeah, I don't think it's gonna work with the kids.
Yeah.
I had the flight and all that ready, and I'm like, I don't know if I can leave my wife this soon. Next year.
Absolutely.
But,
yeah, for sure. Family first, absolutely.
Yeah. And there's Summer NAMM. There's other things I can do this year that's close. So.
Yeah.
But so NAMM's a good platform, and there's PASIC and all these other ones, and I think you guys have a drum show, right? Over in Asheville.
Yeah, there's the Asheville Percussion Festival.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very awesome. I saw. Who do you know in Asheville?
You.
Oh, me. I saw the message. I'm like, who's in Asheville?
Well, we actually know. We know. I think it's Dan from Drum Showroom.
Oh yes. Nice.
Is that his name? Yeah, that's his name.
It is his name. Yeah. I think me and him are gonna do a collaboration.
Awesome.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm in Asheville. I'm like, awesome. I love it when people are you find out about other things. It's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's so cool. So those are the big things. That's what we want to go for.
Nice.
We're a very small company that just started. We have a distribution center here in Fort Worth and everything, but wanted to take on endorsers, make this thing big. It's something there's a space for it. Evans, they got releasing that pillow and everything, and people be getting that, and we have the. We see other products like foam rings and other things that people have come out with. And the thing is we're trying to make something simple. We're really trying to cater to the drummer who's on the road. He's gigging real quick. He's going back and forth. Every venue is different. Every studio recording is going to be different. And so to be able to customize your tone in seconds, there's just nothing out there like that. I mean, there might be some things sort of, but simplicity is what everybody's looking for nowadays. You buy and click, and it's shipped one day on Amazon, or you put up your thing in the microwave, and it's done in a minute.
Totally.
People don't want to wait around for something good. So.
Well, and I'm looking at my kit right now, and I've got booty shakers on the snare drum. I didn't realize how much your snare drum will vibrate and make that ring, and you just throw those on there. Problem solved. I got the K brakes on. Oh,
Wes.
So awesome.
Wes is an awesome guy. He's so cool.
He's a great dude. And then Big Fat Snare Drum. Chris, that dude. I'm like, where was this when I was, because I love that thuddy sound, but I want that snappy sound. And
Sure.
I don't want
Funny.
to have two different snare drums. It's like, nope, bam.
Yeah. Well, funny story. I don't even know how this happened, but maybe we DM'd him on Instagram or something like that. But like the day that we started our company, maybe our first post, I get a call, right? And it's Chris from Big Fat Snare Drum.
Nice.
I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a guy I look up to, and he's an entrepreneur, and he's so amazing, and all this kind of stuff. And he's just some regular awesome guy.
Yeah.
And he's kind of, he's been a big lifesaver for us and given us advice and stuff. And I hang up the phone, and then the guy Jervich from Spinball calls me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, what's happening? I'm not going to ever post anything on Instagram again because I feel like everybody just finds me.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they got my number. But yeah, such good friends now. And, just chatting it up with them. And it's amazing what little products can make such a big difference and how simple and easy they are. So.
Well, and, you tapped into it earlier about it's a community,
Time.
People think, oh, you must compete with other people, and it's like, no, like Josh from Drummer's Corner, great dude.
Josh is awesome.
Then you got Chris from Official Drummer's Guide to Gear, great guy as well. We're all on the same team. It's like, why would I want to compete with them?
Absolutely.
You're gonna stand out as the guy that's like, ooh, don't talk to him, or he's there's not a point to it. I think we're all in it together, and what's the point in trying to sabotage all of us? It's just being selfish. It's crazy.
Yeah, and we're so blessed to be able to work over here at the Hang Studios.
Those guys are great.
They're great guys. Ben and Caleb Barnett. They run the studio, and we do a lot of sound testing and engineering when it comes to different products, and because we have the 2-inch cubes and the 4-inch cubes and different densities, and so we come over here and we test it out with them, and so there's some great guys here at the Hang Studios, do some great recording with some bands and stuff, and so we were blessed to be able to improve our product over here
from a sound engineer's perspective.
Yeah. Well, and it's that trial and error, process of, I remember when I talked to Jeremy and Chris from Big Lowboy Beaters, how it was just a process of shaving this, cutting this, giving it to other drummers, like, hey, give me your input, tell me what you like, what you don't like, be honest, just shoot it to me straight. So, and it's great to have those people you can rely on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like we say, we're all in this together, and the goal is better music. And one of the things that I heard recently, is that when you ready,
take 2, action. Yeah.
The power of editing, right?
Yeah, the power of editing. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Well, one of the great things that I heard recently, when England came over, when they invaded and all that kind of stuff, or British, or, that everything's going to be Britain or whatever. How the Indians were conquered, they were kind of talking like, well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with this whole scenario? And then they eventually were conquered and stuff like that. The thing is that they really weren't outgunned or outmatched per se, but the problem was they didn't really have a central language. They were already warring amongst each other, and there's so much murder going on already. But there was one great battle where one of the Indian chiefs actually got up and led a charge and gathered, and they actually won that battle.
Yeah.
So it's like the one time we all come together, we accomplish something great.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I really think that's kind of the key to the music community as well.
Yeah.
And everyone we've met, one of our first big friends was George McCurdy. I'm pretty sure you know him.
Yeah.
Spanky, such a great guy.
Yeah.
Playing with big people like Lauren and Gaga and all them. And he's just a regular awesome guy, and just kind of little feedback on our product, loves it. And, so it's just good to meet people like that and just be on the same level playing field.
Yeah.
And just get to, chat about drum stuff, which is so much fun.
Yeah, I love anytime I do a podcast and I'm like talking about drums. I'm like, oh, finally, drum talk.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause my
Yeah.
wife, she listens to me, but you know, she's like, you know, and she'll chime in when she knows but sometimes it's like, whoop, right over her head, you know.
Yeah, sure.
I hear the words, but I don't understand them.
Don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my last question, it's more out of curiosity. Have you guys put them in a snare drum? Like, put a bunch of cubes in a snare drum and then put the head back on?
Yeah, so great question. You're giving away the thing we're trying to release very, very soon. So
No.
it's okay. We got our lawyer lets us release stuff. It's wonderful stuff.
Nice.
But what it is I have a it's like a PDP. It's got that DW mag throw. It's all maple.
Yeah.
And it's got this real ringy resonance that I don't like because maple, you know, it's just that type of wood.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I actually took little Velcro squares, not Velcro cubes, but Velcro squares, and put them kind of in a pattern inside of the snare drum. Which
okay.
So we'll be sending out little snare packs.
Nice.
You know, with little Velcro strips and stuff like that. You know, the glue doesn't harm the wood. You know, a lot of people use duct tape and it'll rip the wood or whatever. And,
Yeah.
And what happened is I hit it and I was like, oh my goodness. Well, no knock to Moon Gels, but I don't need this anymore. It was just amazing. It was the right sound. It was a perfect tone. It took away all that nasty ring. Because that's what drum cubes do. That's the whole purpose, is to not muffle your drum, but give it the correct sound.
Yeah.
Because the air actually, not to get nerdy again, but the air actually passes through the cubes at the low dense cubes. And with the thicker density cubes, the air kind of bumps up against it. It's something, you know, that's hitting the music community called quadratic diffusing.
Okay.
Which a lot of people, you know, you see those square walls with all the cubes of wood behind drummers. Yeah, so that's kind of the focus of and the science behind this. Little engineer talk for a minute, but that's what makes it work so well. Not only the fact that it's simple, but that's the real reason that it works. And you know, so we have some things that we're wanting to come out, and like you said, the snare is the next thing to go. If the bass is right, then the snare needs to get right.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
So we're excited to have that out, and
and we've had a couple of drummers who have ventured off with some of the drum cubes and placed them in their snares, and we get feedback. One of our drummers, Parker Phelps, he plays a lot, and he places them in his snare drum when he plays, and you know, he's got a light that comes underneath it, and so it's cool to see the cubes inside of it. And you know, it just when we started testing it out, we were surprised at how it works, and not just your kick drum, but your snares, your toms.
Everything.
Because
it really gives them a cool sound.
I was wanting to like take my floor tom and just like throw a bunch in there and just see what it sounded like, and just, you know, I like to experiment, so I'm like, I wonder if anybody's done that. So it's good to know that other people think like I do. I'm not insane.
You're not insane. You're forward thinking, which is good.
Good, awesome. Well, I really appreciate you guys being on. So where can people find you? Because surprisingly, there's some people who do not. They listen to the podcast and that's it. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. So we literally just launched our website 2 weeks ago. So it's drumcubes.com. But the Cubes is with a K. That's kind of our brand. So it's Drum Cubes, you know, drumcubes.com. We got all our products on there. You can see some of our endorsers, and just check it out. And we ship everywhere. In fact, we were just laughing today because we got one going out to Germany tomorrow, and we already ship international. So feel free to hit us up. You know, we will definitely work with traveling drummers and things like that. So.
And we are on every social media platform. We got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you know, YouTube. We do a lot of cool giveaways. I mean, we got one on YouTube this Saturday.
This Saturday.
Oh, nice. Which one is that?
It's the YouTube giveaway.
YouTube
we're looking for subscribers, and we just popped that YouTube channel, and we have more to come. So
Cool.
So yeah, we do a lot of videos for big drummers on there. Also, we'll have them give their kind of their testimony also there,
Yeah.
and what they think about drum cubes. So I mean, we'd like for people to subscribe there also to get kind of like a behind the scenes on
Sure.
what happens with drum cubes and the community who has them. So you know, it's just everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. And if you don't check that out, you can always see drummer boy Aaron right there in California. He is our biggest fan. That kid. Have you watched him?
Yeah,
at all?
I have. Yeah.
Oh man, he loves the drum cubes. He's all about it. And it's just so for sure. And we are in a couple retail stores, one in Pennsylvania and now in Antioch.
Okay.
So
is the
we're growing the retail game a little bit.
Is the Pennsylvania, Philadelphia custom drums?
No, but that would be wonderful. They can call us. They can call us if they want to.
Yeah, I will.
We're actually in Woodland Percussion.
Woodland
really
Percussion.
Cool store.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Super cool rustic vibe he's got going on there, and
Nice.
super good guy. So Alan's a good dude.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to the what was the color I chose for your giveaway? Fire Opal. I think that's
Fire Opal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like a fictional color.
What I
from
did,
some legendary land.
what I did is I went to Google, and then I think
Yeah.
I typed in like colors, and it took me
Sure.
to some random Wikipedia thing, and it just listed all these random colors. I'm like, let's find the most. Oh, there it is, Fire Opal. So.
Oh my goodness.
And you know what? Because you put so much effort into it.
Yeah, sure.
You know, we might just have to figure out what that color is.
I don't
and
even
give
know
you
what it
some-
is. Yeah.
We'll spray paint it and send it to you.
We might, we'll
There
have
you
to
go.
do a little bit of design there. But.
Nice. That's awesome.
Oh, man, funny stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Well, we did just release a new color. It's really, as you know, foam is kind of an exclusive product, which
Yes.
is kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But so getting colors is actually kind of a challenge unless you're making stuff in China. We make everything in the USA.
Mm.
And so we actually released black, and it's got we did a little giveaway.
Yep.
And so, the black cubes kind of go with everything. So
Oh yeah, you can't.
yeah, more colors to come, of course.
Cool. Yeah, and I like the idea of you got a custom kit. When you match the cubes to it. And
Sure.
when you see someone with an acrylic kit and they've got like just the nastiest pillow in there, it's like people can see inside there, right?
Yeah.
They can see what you're
that's-
doing, dude, and
Yeah.
you can't hide.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
part of we made sure that our foam isn't just it's just some regular foam. It's been covered and coated with some stuff that is supposed to keep the quality of it good,
Mhm.
and it's designed to help with specifically the drums. And we've done some engineering with it so that it works really good with kick drums and that kind of stuff. So it's not your normal foam that you find around. So
it's very
it was-
aesthetically pleasing.
It's really
to
that's
look
why
at.
it's tough to get our different colors in it, because it has to be each color different paints and stuff to get it engineered to how we like it. So
Yeah,
Nice.
tricky
Well-
process, but it works in the end. So
Oh yeah, and it's your name behind it at the end of the day too. So you kind of have
sure.
to, you don't want to like, oh, here you go. Oh, it failed. Oh, my bad.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've only got one, really honestly, and we've grown like 1,400 followers now in like a couple months or whatever
Nice.
on Instagram, which is the best drum community, I think.
Oh yeah, totally.
And we've only got like one or two bad comments. I won't tell you what they are, so I don't embarrass the person, but that's it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not. And the two comments weren't even really that they didn't like drum cubes, because if I'm correct, both of them didn't have drum cubes.
That's right. No,
It's
didn't have
more of a skeptical
bashing.
about
okay.
new products coming out. But
Yeah.
you're always going to have people that hate on your
Yeah.
product. But
Yeah. These suck. Have you tright them?
These
No.
suck.
Like,
exactly.
yeah,
exactly.
it's like maybe you should say, you should wait till.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
bash
somebody
your
told us one time, and this is completely different. He's like, but rolled up blue jeans that he cut up into little tiny pieces actually work better. And I was like, that's interesting.
Okay, yeah, I'm not quite seeing the connection, but God
Maybe if
bless.
you're a country music drummer, got some
Let's
rolled
put
up blue
Wranglers in
jeans,
there.
Yeah,
put some Levi's.
yeah. Put some Levi's. It is Texas, so
Yeah, you know it.
Cool.
And
Well, again,
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys being on, and I should have mentioned this beforehand, but I'd love for you guys to do like an Instagram takeover one day of my account and just kind of show everybody what you guys, the behind the scenes, and
Sure.
promote your stuff, and get it out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've been down.
Cool.
Be fun. See, everybody can see what happens behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Behind the
It's
curtain.
a little dangerous back there. But maybe.
Yeah. It's like, put that fire out. Oh no. Yeah.
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 Well,
Oh
cool.
man.
Well, again, thank you for being on. Thank you for allowing Mason and me to try these out. We're super
Absolutely.
super excited.
Definitely.
And,
Definitely.
Glad you love them.
yeah, I like I said, it's those little small things you don't realize. Oh, that was a problem. Problem fixed.
Done.
Done. Cool. Well, thank you guys, and I never know how to end the podcast. I hadn't thought up of a catchy way to end it. Like
Good.
like it's always some awkward like see you guys, but like all my favorite podcasts, they all have like something they say like enjoy your burrito or keep it crispy or something. I'm like,
Ooh.
or Han shot first, and I'm like, I don't have anything cool to say, so maybe one day it'll come upon me, but
Yeah.
for right now we'll just say see you guys.
Hey, see you, Daniel. Thanks.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye. Thanks so much for having us on.
Yeah, let me. Again, thank you to my guests, Sterling and Braden of Drum Cubes, for being on. Remember, you can go to their website, www.drumcubes with a K. Save yourself 10% off with promo code DrumheadsPod at checkout.